You're listening to the internet. This is a prelude to today's episode of Into Your Head Temporarily Daily Christmas Show. Hello. Today's episode of Into Your Head Temporarily Daily Christmas Show. Hello. Has bells on it. Does that mean anything? Probably does. Or probably doesn't. I don't know. It's a seasonal pond anyway. Has bells. Isn't that what they say? They say that has bells on it. That's so old it has bells on it. Well, this isn't old at all. It's not even finished yet. It's not even born yet. Although by the time you hear it, it'll be about 2 days old. Admittedly, I make these in advance. I don't do live podcasts. That's physically impossible. People like to say that. They say, oh, we're doing a live podcast today. You are not. You're recording it live in advance. You'll have a live. The only thing that's live about it is the people in front of you sitting there who are barely alive. You go to, the only thing you do live is a concert. You go to Wembley Stadium in England, or you go to wherever the stadiums are in Ireland called. I don't know, because the only stadiums I know about for concerts are the ones I see on Queen videos. I suppose that one I went to Billy Joel in Croke Park. I went to Croke Park. We saw Billy Joel many years ago, but that's beside the point. The point is, this podcast was made on Tuesday, and you're hearing it at the earliest on Wednesday, unless you've somehow hacked my website, in which case, fuck you, you cunt. Fuck you, you cunt. Fuck you, you cunt. I want to reach for my harmonica here and make this into a song, but as you learn later in the show, that's not possible at the moment. But more about that later. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting so far ahead of myself, I'm going to be the first inventor of time travel inadvertently. Can you inadvertently invent something, or is that called discovering? It's probably called discovery. That's what they like to do. If you inadvertently invent something, they don't like to give you too much credit for it, so they just say he discovered it. They say, oh, that fella, he didn't invent fire, he just discovered it. One of the most important discoveries of mankind ever, but they're not allowed to call you an inventor because you did it accidentally. You accidentally stumbled across, imagine if you accidentally stumbled across another parallel universe and you weren't looking for it. They'll say, oh, he wasn't an explorer, he just got lost and he found another universe. What a fucking loser. That's what they'll say, because people like to put everyone down. They don't like to recognize achievements. They'll say, there's something over there, and someone else will say, oh, it looks like an achievement, and they'll say, no, I don't recognize that at all. It just looks like a blob of jelly. It's probably a black hole or something, which means it's nothing. If you find a black hole, you found nothing. That's what they'll tell you. Fucking cunts. Anyway, on with the show. On today's Into Your Head Temporarily Daily Christmas Show for Wednesday, I apparently temporarily mislay my harmonica, and lots more.
Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. Monkey nuts, into your head. Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. Big steaming piles of monkey nuts into your head.
We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this squashed up piece of cling film, which contains the remains, little as they are, of a chicken roll. I had a chicken roll a few minutes ago. A roll in the hay with some chicken, except there's no hay involved. You don't put hay in sandwiches. You put the closest thing you get to putting hay in a sandwich will be the stuff that the bread is made out of. Is that straw or something, or grain or bran? I suppose that's close enough to hay. It's like the grass, the stuff that they make wheat, whatever the stuff is that they make bread out of. That's as close to grass as you're going to get in a sandwich, unless you're having the picnic and some of the grass accidentally gets into it, I suppose. But you can't spend your whole life worrying about that. You might as well be worrying over, well, they say no point crying over spilt milk. There's even less point worrying over the possibility of milk being spilt when it hasn't happened. And the same goes for hay. Remember, there was that song, the theme tune to The Fall Guy, a TV series in the 70s. Where's my fucking harmonica? Hold on. Don't panic, I can't find my fucking harmonica. It's definitely around here somewhere. I didn't transmogrify it to another room or anything. I'm basically lost without it. The show can't go on. Hold on. Harmonica. There were some kittens in here earlier. They may have had something to do with this, or they may not. I don't know. They certainly did have something to do with taking a screenshot of my Tesco online Christmas grocery shop and automatically uploading it to Dropbox right in front of my face. One of the kittens, they just pressed the print screen button. It was absolutely fantastic. Oh, I found a fake Mars bar in here while I was looking for my harmonica. Didn't find my harmonica. Must be around here. So harmonicas don't just disappear, you know. Although I haven't seen that one that I got for my birthday when I was 5 in about 15 to 25 years. So maybe that disappeared. I don't know. I wasn't really watching it when it disappeared, or else I'd know where it was. It wouldn't be lost at all. As I say, if I knew where it was, it wouldn't be lost. That's what people say. It's probably a bit early to be having a snack 3 minutes into the show, but as far as I'm concerned, with the lengths of these temporarily daily Christmas shows, 3 minutes in is the 11s of the day of the show. It's the equivalent of the 11 o'clock, assuming the day goes on until about midnight. Which it doesn't, and even then it would have to be a lot longer than they are now for this to be the 11s, so that doesn't work. It was just a thought experiment that failed. Oh man. Sorry about that. I got a bit distracted eating a fake Mars bar, Super Value brand caramel bar. Oh, is it Super Value? Something along those lines anyway. Suffice to say, it was the Super Value own brand version of a fun size Mars bar. Didn't find it much fun myself. I found it rather irritating chewing my way through that. I get stuck in my cavities. I'd forgotten the way Mars bars they get stuck in your cavities like there's no tomorrow. Oh, I didn't find my harmonica, but what I did find it's an old broken iTelephone, which I just plugged in. I don't think it's going to work. It's been broken for at least 2 years now. I think I had it there as a backup emergency. I have a broken iPhone as a backup emergency. Luckily, there's no emergency here. My current iPhone is working perfectly well, thank you. It was just interesting to find my backup there. But no, I'd rather have found my harmonica. Where's my fucking harmonica? I don't like. Anyway, the reason I was reaching was for my harmonica was to perform the following theme song. Something, 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 something. And when he went up in the hay, it's only hay, hey, hey. A theme tune from the Fall Guy. Go look it up if you feel like it. Go and do a Google. Go to Google and go, the Fall Guy. And they'll say, did you mean the Fall Guy? And you'll say, yes, why? And they'll say, because you spelt it incorrectly. And you'll say, well, I know nothing about it. That's why I'm searching for it. I don't know how to spell it. And they'll say, oh, it's perfectly easy. You just learn how, just do it phonetically. Think about it. You go there, so you go there, so you think, oh, how does there sound phonetically? Well, it sounds like a t and a h and an e, and you run those three together very fast. Oh, my old iPhone seems to be starting up a bit, I think. I'm not sure. You go t, he, e, and then you run them together. You go t, he, e, and then you go faster. You go t, he, and then you go t, he, and then you go t, and then you go t, and then you go there, and then you say, oh, I've spelt it out phonetically, except I haven't produced any letters for the spelling. I just seem to have run the sounds together, so I still don't know how to spell it. If you could see the wood from the trees and back off for a minute, you're looking at it too closely. Back off from the woods and you'll see it's just a very commonly used definitive article, the word there, which I'm sure you're almost definitely completely familiar with. You're just so close that you didn't notice you were dealing with the word there. You just saw a big intimidate. You're just intimidated by language. Is that right? No, intimidated. That doesn't sound right. Intimidate. Why does that not sound right? Jesus Christ, what's the word? Intimidate. No, intimidated. I'm saying the word sounds right and wrong at the same time. Intimidated. There we go. It's not intimidated. It's intimidated. For some reason, I was thinking through. Oh, Christ, it's like a disease. I'm catching your disease of not looking at a word correctly. Jesus, holy fucking Christ. Jesus, holy fucking Christ on a pop. Oh, incidentally, this is the Into Your Head temporarily daily Christmas show in which we celebrate the arrival of Christmas anytime now. Well, not anytime. It's arriving at a specific date next week, the 25th of September. I'm recording this now on the 17th. No, I'm not. I'm recording on the 16th. Although I suspect I'll also be recording it on the 17th because it's getting towards the end of the day now. It's getting towards the end of it, getting a bit late in the day to be doing this crap. I don't want to do it crap. I want to do it properly. Where was I? My harmonic. Oh, let's see how this iPhone is going. I don't think it's going to start. It's doing the lightning bolt thing again, despite having had plenty of time to charge up enough. Never mind. It's not a problem. If it was a problem, it would be a first world problem, which is fine because I'm in the first world. It would be fucking ridiculous to have third world problems here. Although, since the bailout is being a bit, you know yourself. Anyway, two temporarily missing harmonicas walk into a bar. One of the temporarily missing harmonicas, which I'm sure will turn up any minute now. I'll probably find it in the morning when I come in here. The other temporarily missing harmonica, unfortunately, won't turn up because it doesn't exist. I only have one temporarily missing harmonica. The other one doesn't exist and is therefore permanently missing from the space-time continuum and from the entire universe. Maybe it's present in another parallel universe. Maybe there's another it doesn't matter anyway, because the focus of this story is the first temporarily missing harmonica, which goes up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, was anybody asking for me by any chance? My name's Harmonica." It's not really a name. It's more of a species than anything else. If you can think of an inanimate object as having a species, and if you can think of something that seems to be talking to you and conscious as being an inanimate object, which I realise is quite a big ask. It's a big ask. It's a tall order, as they say. I remember back when I was about 11 years of age, I went into my local corner shop up in the far corner of the town of Bray. And I went in, and the owner was there. Smart horse owner was there, chatting to a regular. And I said, "1 golf ball, please," because I had 1 penny on me. And he said, "Oh, that's a very tall order." Did a little chortle, a sarcastic chortle in the middle, and then sold me it. I'm sure he made a tidy profit, because a fake golf ball chewing gum does not cost him one penny per. Anyway, suffice to say, the joke's on him, because he ended up going out of business a couple of years after that. Anyway, where was I? The harmonica goes straight up to the bar. I did that bit. He says, is anyone look asking for me? And the man behind the bar says, "Why are you missing or something?" And harmonica says, "Well, I don't know. Missing depends on whether anyone misses you or whether you're missing anyone. And who am I to say that?" And the man behind the bar says, "I don't know. Who are you to say that?" And the harmonica says, "I don't know. That's the question. I asked you. I said, who am I to say that? Replying with the same question does not really get us anywhere." And the man behind the bar says, "I'm beginning to think there's probably nobody missing you then." And the harmonica says, I beg to differ. I've played an important role in a podcast for the last several years. I happen to know that someone was reaching for me with a view to performing the theme tune from The Fall Guy and couldn't find me, and instead found the apple is appearing on the old iPhone now. That's promising. What's so promising? I don't know. Doesn't read. Anyway, yes, I happen to know that I was being looked for with a view to being used to perform the Fall Guy theme tune, and the man behind the bar says the theme tune to the Fall Guy did not have a harmonica in it, and the harmonica says, well, if I'm found safe and well, that's going to change, I can tell you. It'll be a cover version, I suppose, in a way. I hope he doesn't take this opportunity to go into the other room and get out that guitar that he's been talking about for months that he keeps meaning to get out. And the man behind the bar says, oh, that would be terrible for you, being replaced by a more sophisticated instrument. And the harmonica says, it would. The iPhone started up now. That's fantastic. It's still covered in brown paint, I see, from that time when he was painting. Anyway, yes, it will be dreadful because he hasn't got a musical note in his head, and the only instrument that he can sound half competent with is the harmonica. If he starts playing a guitar, he's just going to sound fucking ridiculous. And the man behind the bar says, oh, I see your dilemma now. Well, it's not really a dilemma, it's more of a situation. There's no dilemma involved. And harmonica says, indeed. Anyway, can I have a pint of your finest Guinness, please? And the man behind the bar says, can you put Guinness in a harmonica? And the harmonica says, we're about to find out, aren't we? Ho, 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 ho. But no, seriously, I'm not electrically powered or anything, so it's perfectly safe. Might go a bit rusty if I don't clean up properly after, but don't worry, I know about hygiene. I've spent my whole life in people's mouths having their spit blown through me, so I know all about hygiene. I've never managed to get any corrosive diseases yet. Although I suppose there's always the chance of that in the future. And the man behind the bar says, indeed there is, and a great night is had by all.
You're listening to
the Into Your Head podcast
from Ireland with your humble proprietor, Neal.
Follow Neal at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
Are you enjoying the temporarily daily Christmas show run of Into Your Head podcast? It's probably too early for you to say. It's only 3 episodes in, but time is of the essence at the moment, because I have to remind you that if you're doing your Christmas shopping and would like to support the show at no cost to you, now is the time to do it. You go to intoyourhead.com, click through my links to amazon.com, Amazon UK or Amazon Canada, and do all your Christmas shopping through those, and the show makes a generous commission at no cost to you. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Several people have been doing it already this year. Thank you very much, without even any prompting. I've barely mentioned it at all this year until this week. I mentioned it once until this week, and this week I've mentioned it 3 times, and already people are going, oh, I better do something about that. Christmas is next week. I better get my gun out. Oh no, not get my gun out. Get my finger out. That's the phrase. I better get my finger out and get dialing and dial up this internet page. I know what you're thinking there. You think that sounds wrong. You can't dial up an internet page. Well, if you're a proper geek, which you're probably not, there's none of those anymore, but if you are, you'll know that every internet page has a corresponding number that's made up of digits rather than words, and you can dial that up. You can dial up the numbers, all numbers and dots. You just dial it up, and then you get to the page. Why would you do that? I don't know. Just for the fun of it. So you don't need a reason to do things. Just do them because you can, or for the fun of it, or just have a bit of human curiosity about the world around you and do something just for the experience. Anyway, on with the show. I've always been a great believer in the dictum, if there's 4.5 more minutes to fill, oh Christ, I was about to reach for my harmonica there. So, it's a built-in movement built into my arm now. It's a what do you call it? Not learned behaviour. It's a thing they call it where you're. It's like when you learn how to touch typing. You just let your fingers do the walking, and they know where you're going. You don't even have to think about it. My hand reached for my harmonica there without even thinking about it, and all it came across was a a crushed bottle of energy drink and a bit of tin foil, which I've already discussed more than enough for a podcast. And this, an old post-it, an old red post-it, which is a fucking ridiculous colour for a post-it. You can barely read it. What's it say? It says, let's have a look at this now. I think I found this on the floor while I was looking for it. It says, gone to shop. I think that's by me. I left a note at one point saying, gone to shop. Well, I'm back now, so this is redundant. Well, it's not redundant. Yes, it is redundant. It's no longer although I suppose I could probably reuse it next time I go to the shop. So probably, chances are I'll probably go to the shop again, probably to get a proper colour of post-it. Although I have some yellow ones over there, but they're very big. I don't like using big post-its. It seems wasteful. Although you can tear them in half. Although that feels like you're destroying them then. If something's so important that you have to waste a post-it note on it, you should have more respect for it than to tear it in half before you do it, because anything that's on a torn piece of paper is not going to be taken seriously by the me of the future, even if it's an important note that I leave for myself. I'm probably overthinking this. Am I overthinking this? I wonder. I'll probably have a look at some psychology or something about it later. I'll read up and see what's his face, Mr. Freud has to say about that. So Mr. Freud, not Clement Freud, that's his son or grandson or something. He's dead too. Sigmund Freud, the psychiatrist. Although, if I understand from something I vaguely heard on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, his teachings aren't taken all that seriously anymore, or he's barely mentioned at all in psychiatry school, which is a psychiatry or psychi, I don't know. There's all sorts of different breeds of head doctors nowadays. I don't know anything about it, don't know much about history, don't know much about psychiatry. Fucking hell, I'm really missing my harm. I had to go get my guitar, or my wife's guitar. Hold on, I'm getting the guitar. I'll just pause this. Hello, I'm back. I found it. I don't know whether it's tuned up anything or anything. I don't know how these things work. We've enough to be getting on with. Here we go. Don't know much about psychiatry. Don't know much from climbing up a tree. Although you say that climbing up a tree was what the first cavemen did. First Neanderthals did. There was a huge stage. You see all those pictures that they like to show of silhouettes of man and woman developing over the millions of years, and they show the first ones crouched over with lots of hair, and then they show them standing progressively more upright. Well, around the second or third one of them was one where they suddenly discovered they could climb up a tree, and that was a major development in evolution. So don't be putting it down that much. Anyway, don't know much trigonometry. Don't know much about why cats have fleas. This isn't very good, I know. It's my first time using this guitar, so give it a chance. We'll get used to it. I had another guitar on the show here for many years, until I smashed it one day. It's on a special from about a year ago on the extras and reruns feed. There's a special involving me retiring the car. The frigging guitar. Anyway, suffice to say, that's that done now. I feel better about that now. We've made some progress. Let's see, where will I put this where it won't get smashed to bits? Over here. Now, anyway, good morning.
Into your head.